Sandra twirled the engagement ring on her finger and laughed carelessly. What am I even saying? I'm only marrying him for his money. After this marriage, I'll divorce him, they'll share property, and I'll go back to my sugar boy, KC. Clock it. Her friend Favour looked up sharply. Sandra, stop talking. This is not funny. Who is joking? Sandra leaned back. There's a difference between confusion and cruelty. Don't cross that line tonight, Favour. After I marry him, if I want, I can divorce him. Property will be shared. So tell me again, who is lucky?
Who is joking? Sandra leaned back. There's a difference between... Favour's eyes dimmed. You think you know what you're doing. Sandra smiled. I know exactly what I'm doing. Tonight, on the eve of her wedding, those words would come back to break everything she thought she had under control. This is how it all started. Flashback. After a brutal lecture, Sandra and her friends, Favour and Izine, trudged out of the faculty building. My brain is fried, Izine groaned. Tell me about it. I need coffee, Sandra replied. If this department adds one more course, I'll transfer by force, Favour muttered. They were still joking when a black SUV slowed beside them. The driver, a man in his late 30s or early 40s, rolled down the window. Excuse me, he said gently. I hope I'm not embarrassing you by stopping like this. Sandra's guard went up. No, you're not. I've seen you around here more than once, he continued. I told myself that if I passed again and saw you, I'd speak properly instead of just driving by like a coward. So you stopped because of me? Sandra asked. Yes, he smiled. My name is Obina Okafor. Before you think I'm just one of those men who stop girls on the road to waste their time, let me speak clearly. I like your face, but more than that, I like the way you carry yourself. You don't even know me, she protested. That's true, which is why I'm asking for a chance. To, if you don't mind, I'd like to know your name. Sandra, she said, a little wary. He greeted her friends, collected her number politely, and handed her his card. This is my number, he said. Don't call because you feel pressured. Call only if you want to. The card was thick, heavy, not cheap paper. She noticed. As time passed, Sandra learned that Obina was a self-made businessman from Anambra State. He hadn't gone to university. Life had pushed him into hustle early, importation, properties, other ventures. But he was intelligent, direct, generous, and very clear about what he wanted. I may not speak like your lecturers, he told her one afternoon, but I know what I'm saying, and I know what I want. Respect. Someone who won't be ashamed to stand near me because I learned business before I learned grammar. Sandra smiled sweetly, but already inside, she had put him in a category. Useful. Not her spec, just useful. Months later, notification sounds lit up Sandra's phone. Ah, Jesus, Izine shouted, peeking over her shoulder. Another alert? Chai, 5 million naira! Sandra, you are rich!
Sandra smirked. This one no be transport money. This one get weight. From Chief again? Izine asked. Please put some respect on his name, Sandra replied. It's Mr. Obina Okafor, Mr. Obina's sponsor. Favor folded her arms. He pays your fees, your rent, your handouts, your phone bills, everything. The least you can do is stop leading him on. Did I tie rope on his neck? Sandra fired back. He knows what he wants. I know what I want. We are all using our senses. No, Favor said quietly. He thinks you love him. That's not the same thing. Sandra scoffed. Love? Me? With that man? You must be joking. Yet, while she mocked him, she lovingly answered Casey's call. Hi, babe, she cooed. Missed you, die. After a few minutes of flirtation, the real reason for the call appeared. My landlord is disturbing me, Casey sighed. I need to sort one or two things before weekend. Just send me something. Anything. Casey, anything. The last anything I sent wasn't small money. I know, baby. You know you're my sure person. She rolled her eyes, but agreed. Later that day, Obina sent her another large sum, this time for a business idea she pretended to have. She forwarded most of it straight to Casey. Favor watched quietly. You're deceiving that man, Sandra, she said. Both of you and Casey, are using him. In this life, use what you have to get what you want, Sandra replied. Beauty is an investment too. But what happens when the truth comes out? Favor asked. By then, Sandra said calmly, I'll be too far gone for it to matter. She believed consequences were always for other people. Over time, Obina's kindness only grew. He paid Sandra's fees, furnished her hostel, gave her regular allowance, even helped her family quietly. He never hid her. He talked about her proudly. One evening, he confided in his close friend, Chukwudi. I know I didn't go to university, Obina said. Girls used to laugh at me because of grammar. But Sandra never mocked me. She respects me. I want to marry her. Chukwudi frowned. Obina, love is not the problem. Blindness is. Test her heart before you build your whole life inside it. I know girls can pretend, Obina replied, but Sandra is different. Chukwudi shook his head. There is always something different before heartbreak. Back at campus, Favor tried once more. God has given you a good man, she said. He may not be polished, but he has a good heart. Sandra shrugged. Good hearts don't match my vibe. I cannot marry an illiterate man because he has money. I'm only here because of what he provides. Still, when Obina spoke of the future, he wasn't casual. Sandra, he said gently one night, I didn't go to university, but I built something. I don't just want a beautiful wife. I want a woman who can manage things with me. Read documents, understand investments, guide our children, build with me, not just live with me. That is what I see in you. Sandra smiled, but inside she was already plotting how to turn that vision into cash, not covenant. One day, while Sandra was at Obina's house, her phone rang repeatedly. KC calling flashed on the screen. Who Is KC? Obina asked lightly. Your classmate with assignments? Yes, Sandra lied quickly. He's just troublesome. Answer it, Obina said. If it's nothing, why are your hands shaking? She hesitated. Before she could silence it, the call connected on speaker by accident. Baby, Casey's voice drew out. Why aren't you picking my calls now? The room froze. Obina's face hardened. Baby, he repeated slowly. Is that how classmates greet themselves now? It's not what you think, Sandra stammered. Then tell me exactly what it is, he said quietly. Who is Casey? She faltered, feeding him half-truths and vague phrases. Obina rose, voice low but firm. Sit down. She obeyed, trembling. There are 3 things that destroy trust quickly, he said. Lies, half-truths, and confusion pretending to be innocence. If there is someone in your life, say it. I can survive pain. What I will not tolerate is being made into a backup plan. You're not a backup, she whispered. I don't know how to explain. That, he said, is what people say when the truth will expose them. Finally, he handed her bag to her. Go back to school, Sandra, he said. Think well. Settle your mind. If you ever stand before me again, come with clear truth, not confusion. His sister, Adeaz, walked her to the door. You think you can just walk away after everything? Adeaz said. Listen, money is attractive, but if you chase money without honour, one day you will stand in comfort and still hate yourself. Sandra left, shaken. For the first time, doubt pierced her confidence. Days later, Sandra returned, broken and ashamed. She stood in front of Obina and his sister, eyes red. Obina, I'm sorry, she began. Not just because you found out, but because what I did was ugly. I used your kindness. I took your heart lightly. I fed another man from your hand. I was greedy and proud. You didn't deserve any of it. Silence hung between them. Why now? Obina asked quietly. Why not before you were caught? Why not when I first asked? Because I was a coward, she whispered. But I'm tired of hiding from myself. Obina nodded slowly. Forgiveness is easy for me, he said. Trust is not. He paused, then added, Still, I forgive you. Not because I am foolish, but because I don't want bitterness to poison me. But hear me well. A broken plate can be picked up, but it will never become unbroken because someone cried near it. If you want a new beginning, it must be new indeed. He drew her into a brief, careful hug. My Pino, he said softly. Don't waste this mercy. Sandra went home with swollen eyes, but also with a second chance she did not yet value. That very night, Casey called again. He needed more money, a huge amount this time, 700,000 naira. How do you expect me to get that? She asked. From the same place your blessings have been raining from, he replied, smiling through the phone. You're smart. Think of something. Sandra felt sick. Still, she went back to Obina with a business plan, a boutique idea, nicely packaged. "I don't want to keep only receiving," she told him. "I want to start something of my own. I've done a budget. About 700K will set it up."
Obina's eyes lit up. "That's wonderful. I've always wanted you to build capacity. If this matters to you, I'll support it." He transferred the money, belief, trust, hope, into her account. That night, she wired it to KC. When he took her shopping with the same funds, perfumes, sneakers, chains, Favour's words echoed in her head. A gift taken on false love is not favour, it is debt with pain attached.
Obina didn't stop there. He bought Sandra a brand new car as an engagement gift. "I want your life to be easier," he told her. "I want you safe. My fiancé should move in comfort." He asked her to spend a weekend at his home to get used to the life they would share. He later drove to Sandra's village, laden with bags of rice, oil and provisions, honouring her parents, announcing his intention to pay her bride price. In her mother's small sitting room, he spoke clearly. "My name is Obina Okafor," he said. "I've come because of your daughter, Sandra. I've been with her for some time. I am serious about her. Please inform the elders that I will return to pay her bride price." Her parents were moved. Neighbours whispered, impressed. "This is how a serious man comes," one uncle said, "not empty-handed boys with full mouths." Later, alone with her mother, Sandra confessed softly, "Mummy, he's not my spec." Her mother stared at her. "He's not your what?" "My spec," she repeated. "He's good, yes. He spends, yes. He's responsible. But he's not the kind of man I imagined. I don't like him like that." "And yet you collected Ring," her mother said quietly. "You let him come here. You let him stand before elders." "Mummy, there's someone else," Sandra whispered. Her mother's eyes hardened. "Listen to me. Never compare a secret man to a public man and call that wisdom. The one hiding with you in corners and the one standing in front of elders with your name are not at the same height. The man who gives you butterflies may still give you high blood pressure. The man that doesn't match your fantasy may still give you peace." She sighed deeply. "I won't force you to marry him," she said. "But if you don't want him, stop him now, before this goes further. If you want him, then stop playing with marriage like it is a joke. Sandra, marriage is not about marrying your spec. It is about marrying your future well." Sandra left that day more confused than ever, but still unwilling to give up the benefits Obina provided, or the thrills Casey gave. Time rushed forward. Sandra completed her exams. Obina attended her sign-out, bringing flowers, taking pictures, beaming with pride. He spoke openly about moving fast, introduction, lists, dates. He wanted nothing hidden. The night before the wedding, Sandra sat in a room full of friends. Her gown was ready, the car polished, the hall decorated. Obina was somewhere in a hotel, praying the next day would go well. Favour raised a drink. To Obina, she said. To a kind, generous, serious man. You're lucky, Sandra. Lucky how? Sandra shot back. All of you keep saying I'm lucky, like I should be on my knees. He's the lucky one here. Do you think it's easy for a man like him to settle for a fine, polished, educated girl like me? Favor's smile faded. Sandra, enough. No, let's be honest, Sandra continued, slightly drunk on her own arrogance. I'm only marrying him for his money. After this marriage, I will divorce him. Property will be shared, and I'll go back to my sugar boy, KC. That's my real person. Sandra, stop, Favor said sharply. This is not confusion. This is cruelty. Call it what you want, Sandra replied. After I marry him, if I want, I'll divorce him. That's the law. So, tell me again, who is lucky? What she didn't know was that Obina had chosen that night to sneak out with a small gift and a note, to surprise his bride-to-be, to calm her nerves, to tell her once more that he was choosing her intentionally. He came quietly to the lodge, walking up the stairs with a smile, and stopped when he heard voices at her door. I'm only marrying him for his money. Sandra's voice drifted clearly through the thin wall. After this marriage, I'll divorce him. Property will be shared. Silence swallowed his heartbeat. Tomorrow's wedding died at Sandra's door that night. Morning came like a bad joke. Makeup artists arrived, bridesmaids dressed, guests started calling, but the groom was nowhere. Sandra tried his number. The number you are calling is not reachable. She went to his hotel. At the reception. Good morning. I need to see the guest in room 402, Mr. Obina Okafor. He's the groom for today's wedding. The receptionist checked the system. Ma, he checked out last night. Sandra's lipstick trembled. What? No, you're mistaken. He's getting married today. I'm sorry. He settled all bills and said he was not coming back again. Sandra's knees almost gave way. She drove to his house, tears blurring her vision, and banged on the gate. Where is Obina? Open this gate! She shouted. The security man shook his head nervously. Madame, Oga say I no open for anybody. Please, she sobbed. I need to see him. Just call him. I'm sorry, the guard repeated. I can't. The locked gate was more than metal. It was a decision. When she returned to the hostel, her friends saw at once. He left, she choked out. He left me. He didn't leave you, Favor said quietly. He left what you revealed. Sandra cried until her body shook. What do I do now? Some questions, Favor answered sadly, don't have quick rescue. Not after a man has signed out of your life intentionally. In the days that followed, Sandra tried to reach Obina. No calls went through. No messages were answered. Desperate, she begged Favor. Did you see him? Please, just tell me. Favor hesitated. He's alive, she said simply. He is moving on. What Sandra didn't know was that after that dark wedding eve, Obina had broken down. Favor had gone to find him in a quiet bar, drunk and shattered, repeating her words. I'm only marrying him for his money. I can divorce him later. He was vulnerable. She comforted him. They crossed lines they shouldn't have crossed. Weeks later, Favour stared at a pregnancy test in her hands. Twice, to be sure. She went to Obina. I checked twice, she said. I'm pregnant. A storm of shock, then resolve passed through him. You're carrying my child. He took a deep breath. Listen carefully. I will marry you properly, before this pregnancy becomes visible, before gossip begins. No hiding, no shame. I will stand where I am supposed to stand. He asked her to move into his house. Adeyeze, cautious but practical, agreed, as long as there were no more secrets. One afternoon, as Favour prepared to travel to see her mother, Sandra tried to stop her. Where are you going? Sandra asked. For how long? I'm not coming back, Favour answered softly. Why? Did you see Obina? What happened? He's alive, Favour repeated, and nothing more. Not everything that changes your life can be explained in one hostile evening. Time passed. One day, broken and humiliated by KC, who had finally told her to her face that he could never marry a girl like her, and that she had been useful, nothing more, Sandra went to Obina's house. She needed to apologize, even if it changed nothing. At the gate, this time, she was allowed in. Favour opened the door. Heavily pregnant. Sandra froze. You snatched my husband, Sandra whispered. Favour's eyes were calm, but firm. I didn't snatch him, she said. You lost him. I only accepted what you rejected. Sandra shook her head in disbelief. You called him not your spec, Favour continued quietly. You fed another man with his kindness. You mocked what other women are praying for. You had a man who stood before your family with open intention, and you still preferred corners. No one snatched your husband, Sandra. You pushed away. Obina stepped out, older somehow, pain etched, but settled. Obina, I'm sorry, Sandra cried. I know I don't deserve anything. I just needed to say it. I was proud. I was stupid. I hurt you. I know, he said. I believe your regret, but it changes nothing. You came too late for marriage, but not too late for repentance. Too late for us, not too late for you to change. Don't waste this pain. Learn from it. Sandra left his gate in silence. No shouting, no drama. Just the quiet finality of a door that would not open again. Later, in the hostel, she sat on her bed, staring at nothing. I had peace, she whispered, and I called it boring. I had honour, and I called it not my spec. I traded a future that came through the front door for a boy who only knew back doors. Favour's last words to her echoed like a verdict and a lifeline. He didn't destroy you. Your choices did. But if choices ruined you, choices can rebuild you too. Just not with him. Sandra bowed her head and wept. For the first time, not because she had lost a man, but because she had finally seen herself clearly. And that was where her real story, not of sugar boys and sponsors, but of repentance and rebuilding, was forced to begin.